What is up, everybody? My name is Nick, joined once again by my co-host Matt. Welcome to For Better or Worse. Good morning. Oh my God, Matt. Good morning, Matt.
Oh, it's a beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. I'm excited to be here. It's been a while. It's been a while since we both hopped on and talked about some NFL. But it should be good. We have a limited amount of games today because of the Thanksgiving stuff. It is,
sacrifice.
Yeah, it's sacrifice. Exactly. But we're here. There's some games on the board. How are you feeling today, buddy?
I'm feeling good. I am trying to figure out some winners. Just played one last night. That was nice. Yours went pretty close. It looks like to that parlay on the hockey. If you want to recap that,
I just want you to know on Thanksgiving, we were one leg away from cashing this long shot. It was like $10 for like 1,300, maybe like 1,200, whatever. And then yesterday, I do this plus 3,000, plus 3,300, whatever. I'm not counting. Dude, the first one was the hardest one, right? Is the Hurricanes and the under. I get the Hurricanes, and I'm praying for no empty nets. Sweating. They get it. Plus 400 out the way. Boom. The rest are like plus 160s, plus 170s. The Panthers go up 3-0 in the first. I need them and over.
Feeling good. 3-0.
Great. I got cashed out on bet 365. I'm not even paying attention. It's 4-1 going to the third. And I'm like, oh, easy. All I need is one goal in the third period. And the Panthers aren't going to lose, right?
Couldn't.
That'd be preposterous,
Preposterous.
So I was like, you know what? Whatever. And then the Devils game I was watching, and I was supposed to go. Then I end up just watching. And it's 3-0. I need them and over 5.5. The Panthers choke a 4-1 lead in the third. In overtime. Not that mattered because we need them in regulation anyway. But that is unbelievable. And the Blues were on the back-to-back. Like, they were already gassed. So the fact that they outperformed them in the third is just so stupid.
You just had to shove it in everybody's faces that, I got bet 365, early cash out.
Okay, a lot of people do. A lot of the Canadian people all have it too. So they're all like,
it's only two. Yeah, Colorado. Virginia's getting it soon. I'm so excited because Bet 365 does have like the best odds.
It's great.
It's like continuously the best odds.
They have early payouts and everything though. They have early payouts in football if you go up 17. Like,
is the app good? Layout, feel?
It's a little glitchy sometimes with the verification code. Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're in. There's no issues.
That's all that matters. Yeah. So maybe not live bet, or be prepared for that. Yeah. Got it. Fair enough. Lot to talk about today. NFL. Yeah. We got a podcast exclusive play. Maryland has Bet 365 now. Great. Super. They haven't had anything for a while, and then they get Bet 365. Okay. Let's get right into it. You want to start us off? What are we starting off with? I can't decide personally.
Yeah, we'll start off with mine. I already posted an article on this, guys. So if you really want to, show some love or whatever you want to do, go watch the article or go read the article. It's a lot better of an analysis that I'm going to say right now. But it's a play based off the matchup, not necessarily on the guy. And what I mean by that is that his hit rate isn't necessarily like in the high 80% where you just have to play it. It's that the Raiders have allowed this guy allowed this position to get over receiving yards in 8 of their 9 games. I think 9 of their 10, actually, if I'm not mistaken. 9 of their 10 games over this number. It's Kenneth Walker, over 14.5 receiving yards, minus 110. That line's pretty much available everywhere. Some books may have minus 120, but the line itself at 14.5 is available everywhere. The Raiders give up 15 plus in 7 straight weeks and 9 of the last 10. Sometimes teams have 2 running backs get over this. He's basically the workhorse back. He's been getting a little more comfortable since he took over. He's kind of taken over the full carries and catches as the running back.
Full workload.
If you could see his game log early, I'm just pulling it up right now. He did only have 3 targets, a couple yards here and there, but he only had like 8 carries as well. On October 16th, I think that was week 5 or 6, he took over 21 carries. Then he had 2 catches, 23 carries, 0 catches, bad target. Then he had 18 carries, 1 receiving target. But then the last 2 weeks, he had 26 carries, 3 catches for 20 yards. And then against the Bucks, he had 10 carries and then 6 targets, or 8 targets, 6 catches. So as the last few weeks have gone, his targets have gone up. And this is just the matchup of the century. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I think it's a good game to target props in general. So I love him to he only might need 2 catches just to get this. The Raiders are just allowing a ton of yards. They allow the most receiving yards to running backs as well. So that's really where the angle for this comes into play. And I just think he's getting more comfortable. He's kind of trending up. So you can kind of get him before his line starts to get closer to the 20.
Yeah. No, 100%. Raiders have been just bad on defense. Just all around.
32nd ranked pass defense.
And that leads us to our podcast exclusive play. Podcast exclusive. So let's talk about it. It's Raiders, Seahawks, over 47.5 at -110. Seattle scores 27 points a game. Raiders score around 22.5. There you go. Done.
No, not done. But yeah, I mean, this Raiders team's coming alive. They scored 20-plus points in their last 3 games since their goose egg against the Saints. The Seahawks are kind of middle of the pack defensively. I think they're 17th ranked defense, but the Raiders are 32nd in the league in defense. So we know the Seahawks are going to score. You could look at a Seahawks team total as well, but this Raiders team has been playing, honestly, I hate to say it, but pretty well. They're in games. They've either won or they've lost by 1 possession their last 3 games. So they're in games, and that's what we want to see in an over. I think if we get, 23-23, that situation, like we're in great shape down the stretch. So I think both teams can score 20, and some teams can get a little more, maybe some breakout plays. So I love this over 47.5.
Yeah, I mean, it popped off the page as far as an over. Seahawks this year have been putting up a ton of points, and the Raiders have been, like you said, been competitive in games, but their defense is still awful. So it's really just been their offense trying to catch up and stay a touchdown behind everybody basically the entire game. So that's the gist of it. Oh, my God. I hate you. Next up. No, I don't.
Guy's name sounds like a fraternity.
Yeah, right.
Just casually get coffee handed to you. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about the guys you're wearing a jersey of this Washington game.
Well, I'm wearing one of the greatest players of all time, Ryan Kerrigan. He autographed too, no big deal. But Washington, obviously, I got to continue to bet them. I love this team. All right, they are undefeated against the spread since Heineke has taken over. They're also 4-1 straight up in that span. They are now a -3.5 favorite. I said that's a little too much, but why don't we just combine 2 plays and make one? So it's Washington money line and Scary Terry for 40 yards at +100. Let's get into it a little bit. First of all, Scary Terry has only gone on 40 yards one time. That was week 4 when he still had Wentz versus the Cowboys, a very good defense, and he only had 2 receptions. Every time, every other time the entire year, he has gone over his yards and pretty comfortably, other than one other game, he had 41 versus the Bears. Pull up my stats. Yeah, I don't like the 3.5. That was a little scary. If it was 3 and at a good number, I would. But everything I was seeing, it was like -150, -160. Great. Let's just take that out altogether. So first of all, Heineke, his main target is Terry McLaurin, second most targeted receiver in all of football. Since week 8. He gets targeted around 33.7% a game. and he's seen about 35 targets over a 4-week stretch, going up against the Seahawks, who have the 29th ranked pass defense. So it's the perfect opportunity. We do have multiple weapons, and that's weird to say as a Washington fan. Basically, Curtis Samuel's been getting a bunch of touches. We have two good running backs. Antonio Gibson's been getting some catches out of the backfield as well. I'm avoiding any rushing props because they're splitting carries. That's how I got trapped last week. Nonetheless, Terry McLaurin, he's a beast. Just dial it down a little bit. 40 yards, money line, plus 100. I believe it's minus 108 on FanDuel right now, but you can probably shop that and get plus 100, maybe even a little better. But that's up to you guys. But that's my take on the Washington game. I will not go away from Heineke. I can't. I refuse. He's
Does every Washington fan just like drink Heinekens and watch the game? That should be a thing.
I've never had a Heineken in my life.
That is little. If you told me two truths and a
You
lie,
you want to hear something crazy?
Off the bat, I'd say that is the truth. No, that you've had a Heineken. Like that would never be my guess.
Two lies and a truth. You ready? Because I'm about to blow your mind. You already know one, so I'm just gonna say two. I'm gonna say a truth and a lie. You ready?
Okay. You haven't showered in a week. Truth.
No, I've never been to a concert, music or anything like that, and
concerts are there.
I've never been to like any sort of. You know what? I've never been to a music concert. There you go. Ever concert, music show, nothing. Never been. Apparently, that's like the weirdest thing ever.
That's the truth. Yeah, you've never been. There's no way you've ever been.
I've never been. I decided to go to I was gonna go to like a Kevin Gates concert, but it was in Norfolk, Virginia. It was not gonna be good. Nonetheless, we're getting distracted.
Do you have to bring two phones to those? Because I feel like that's just a must.
I just don't want to go to Norfolk for any other reason, and then go to Kevin Gates Norfolk. God.
All right. Same game. I have an angle here. It kind of helps Nick's angle of his little 2-leg. I have this is only going to be playable for people in some books. I know you hate me, but the lines are just too good. MGM, which is available everywhere, or Bet365. Cordarrelle Patterson under 13.5 rush attempts. This line is 11.5 on FanDuel and other books. It's just too good of a line for me not to take. He's splitting carries now. If you look at his game log, he hasn't gotten over what you need 14. So you need 14 to lose. He hasn't had 14 since against the Seahawks in September, and he's only gotten over 14 twice this year. And if you're looking at the game script of them losing to Washington late, he's not getting garbage time, just carries to run the clock out. If they're going from behind, he's not going to get it. They also beat the Bears last week, and he still only had 10 carries versus the Chargers, which is one of the best rushing targets in the league. He only had 13 carries. As the weeks go on, he's getting less and less carries. I just think this is a completely wrong line. I'm going to bet this 1,000%. You could bet this under 12.5. You could even take under 11.5 if you want, but that's as low as I'd go.
That was my question. Is that where all the other lines are set, or
some are 12.5, some are 13.5, some are 11.5? If you have to take 11.5, I would take it, but I'd go like a half unit just because it's just a much worse number that you're getting.
Yeah, no, 100%. I like to play. He gets a lot of. I feel like he gets a lot of red zone touches because you see him with the touchdown basically every week. And
he gets a lot of receiving targets.
Highlights.
He gets a lot of receiving targets. He's like almost transitioning to a pass catching back, but also like they don't want him to get hurt either, and like they're trying to share the what. He's
just as much a receiver as he is a running back. I mean, yeah, if you really think about it. Let's get right into your play. It's a kicker play. Go ahead.
We have a kicker prop, ladies and gentlemen. We have a kicker prop. If you're in the chat, give me some noise. Give me some love. We do have a kicker prop. Now,
I'm gonna bet this so hard so it
Hold on.
loses.
Where's my hat?
Oh my god! Did you make a? He probably made a hat.
I didn't. I was trying to find my safari hat, but either
Oh,
way,
okay.
we
I
have
was thinking like Kickers Are People Too hat or something you just made online and paid a ridiculous amount to make personally.
if I get a Kickers Are People Too hat, you guys are gonna have to buy it. Or I may give some away. We'll see. I'm gonna make one though. All right, but we have a kicker prop. And now this is pretty ugly. All right, Evan McPherson over 1.5 field goals is plus money on MGM. And if you look at his game log, you're gonna say, ew, just that's gross. I'm not touching it. But it's more of the offense that the Bengals have. There's no Mixon, most likely. I think he's already ruled out. And there's no Jamar Chase, most likely, as he's not expected to play. Even if he does play, I still take it. Legend. But even so, I will still take it. Evan McPherson, he had 3 field goals last week. And just with the team like that they have right now, there's no Mixon who they rely on a lot. No Chase as a favorite red zone target. I think they struggle in the red zone. I think they still get yards. I still think they can move the ball downfield. But if they're not going to convert in the red zone, that means we get short field goals, baby. Short field goals, which is what we want. And Evan McPherson can crush a 50-yarder. He's crushed a 57-yarder and a 59-yarder this year already. So if it gets down to the nitty-gritty, I think he can still do it. But I think the target here is that they're going to struggle in the red zone. So we're going to get short field goals anyway. And I love the plus money. You give me Evan McPherson at plus money in a game where I think is going to be close and that, they're going to need all the points that they can get. I'm taking this every day of the week.
Yeah. I agree with you. I feel like they're definitely missing weapons. So yeah. I'm really just trying to decide on one thing here, and it's Titans game as well. I'm gonna take Titans money line minus 108 versus the Bengals. They've been on a roll recently. Like you said, Bengals are missing multiple weapons. What I'm really honestly, I kind of like the over. I like the over in the game as well. Yeah. I've been deciding like which one I'm gonna take. I don't know. I'll probably end up taking both, but just put out Titans money line, to be honest, guys. Nonetheless, they found their groove. The Titans can just run the ball. Derrick Henry's back. He's just been running the ball like crazy. They play good defense, at least recently, and been keeping them in games. And then with the Bengals overall, their defense is still suspect, and their offense is missing a bunch of weapons. Yes, Joe Burrow's looked a lot better, and I like his play, but I don't know. Money keeps piling in. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. We talked about this earlier. Money keeps piling in on the Bengals, and the line keeps moving the opposite way because when I remember, Titans were like +3 at the beginning of the week.
+3. Lines moved. There's still more money on the Bengals. So it's like, how is it? That always worries me with the books. Well, it seems like they're just kind of balancing it out. Yeah, it's minus 110 now, minus 103 for the Titans. 74% of the money, only 39% of the bets. Makes me want to think the Titans are going to win it. I think the Bengals are always so public too. Like everyone loves the Bengals. They're kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it in terms of like NBA teams, but like they're very public because they have a lot of superstar players. But the Titans have been very good. Titans are, top of their division. They're rolling. They're beating some good teams, and they're home. So it's a tough place to go in Tennessee, especially when you're missing a lot of weapons.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Let's do a quick recap. Anything else that you can think of for today? Any games you want to talk about? Obviously, guys, if you want to load in your questions, we'll go over some stuff before we head out. We're going to keep it nice and short for you today. So start loading in your questions. Let me look up one thing real quick, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt's looking up one thing as well. Look. Boom, boom, boom. All right, but let's start getting into these comments.
One thing I want to say about I want to talk about the Ravens game. I personally think the Ravens are going to win.
Everybody's talking about. All I've seen is Jags +4. That's all I've seen all week. Jags +4.
if you could buy a half a point on Ravens -3, I think it's minus 120 something on DraftKings. I just don't see, like, everyone's healthy. Mark Andrews is back. Lamar is there. Gus Edwards is the only person who's questionable, but even so, it's almost like a running back committee anyway. He's not going to really move the line whether he's in or out. I just don't get it. What have the Jaguars done to prove that they're within a touchdown of the Ravens? Like, what have they done?
Yeah, I don't.
You
I really don't know. I think people are just looking at the Ravens struggling in recent weeks, and they're like, "Oh, this Jaguars team, they're underrated here. You get +4. I get the +4. Like, I get it, but like people are talking about like Jags straight up money line stuff like that. It's just I don't know.
Hold on, look at this. Since the Ravens lost to the Giants, who are also a decent team this year, they beat the Browns 23-20, beat the Bucks 27-22, beat the Saints 27-13, beat the Panthers. Yeah, it was ugly, but it was still by 10 points. Like, they've barely lost to the Dolphins, who are nasty. They've barely lost to the Bills, who are nasty. They've beat the Bengals on prime time. Like, I don't see what the Ravens have done to deserve such a horrible line. And if you look at the Jaguars, they're 3-7. The Ravens are 7-3. The Jaguars just lost by 10 to the Chiefs. The game wasn't even that close. They just beat the Raiders, which is a big whoop. They lost to the Broncos, lost to the Giants, lost to the Colts, lost to the Texans, lost to the Eagles. What have they done? Like, to me, it just makes no sense.
It's really just all about last week. I think because obviously it was a 3-3 game basically till the end, and then they got a touchdown and a quick turnover to kick a field goal and made it a 10-point game. Like, and then it looks a little worse. That's what basically I think, because all I saw last week when that was happening, first of all, I saw my fantasy team just dying before me. Second of all, it's just like everybody, frauds. And then people convince themselves. I still like the Ravens. You can have bad weeks and still bounce back. But yeah.
But they didn't have their defense showed out. They just proved that they can play in either game, whether it's a shootout or a low-scoring game.
Yeah. No, look, man, I don't disagree with you. I personally, in these situations, you seem to like to buy points. I just like to take the risk and just like see if I can get, if the Jags can get the ball first and maybe like get a couple first downs and the line will move to -3 or -2.5 and then take it, something like that. Personally, that's what I always usually do because I just hate taking juice. But I don't disagree that you should just buy a point, get the 3, and then call it a day.
It just doesn't make – the Jaguars are 1-6 in their last 7 games. The only team they beat was the Raiders.
Yeah.
And the Ravens have won 4 straight.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I just don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's at Jags. Hospitable. The
Ravens beat the Bucks in Tampa, beat the Saints in New Orleans. I don't think they're scared.
That ain't Jacksonville, Florida, okay? That place is rocking.
I think I just convinced myself.
Yeah, I think you did too. Nonetheless, let's get into these questions. We see let's go over our recap. It looks like we got some new people. So real quick, Matt, Kenneth Walker over 14.5 receiving yards. Our podcast exclusive play is Raiders over 47.5 at -110. Again, podcast exclusive over 47.5 at -110. I did a little 2-legger here to avoid the spread. Washington money line, Scary Terry 40 yards at +100. Same game. Matt found this on BetMGM and Bet365. He's okay if you'd go down, just be a little bit more cautious. The line should be around 12.5 and 11.5, but Bet365 and MGM have 13.5 at -130. I am taking Titans money line -108 overall. And then in that same game, we got Matt with Evan McPherson over 1.5 field goals, best line at +100 on BetMGM. So those are our plays for today. We're going to go into questions and see some other stuff, and let's get into it. So, I mean, let's talk about this. A lot of people do the TD scores. It's fancy. It's nice. The plus money is always appeasing, or whatever word you want to use for it. Nonetheless, I don't really like touchdown scores, to be honest. Usually, it's just a situation. It's so situational. Right? So you can get a guy, say Scary Terry, gets a 70-yard pass, gets tripped up at the 2. He obviously should have had that touchdown. We can have that touchdown. Then Brian Robinson gets that touchdown. I hate it.
We also have a lot of this week. There's no total over 50. Like, there's a bunch of low totals, and there's less games to choose from.
Yep.
I'm still gonna put one out. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher this week. There's less games, and a lot of them are low scoring. Yeah,
100%. We got JC here. He thinks the Bengals won't be able to run. So what are your thoughts on?
They can kick. Evan McPherson over 180 yards total combined. That'd be a cool prop. But Burrow passing yards. If you follow game script and we think they're losing, then yes. I just think they still try to run, whether or not it's successful or not. I think they want to keep possession long, and with no chase, it's kind of tough. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Oh, Matt's gone. Just me. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Fucking finally. Shit. All right, he's back.
How did that happen?
I have no idea.
Did you boot me?
No.
I just was talking and I ended up.
All right, whatever. Nonetheless,
purgatory. Yeah, I don't think I like it that much. Just maybe a live spot if you see them losing late and he's gotta, but not
I don't see the problem. I love Tennessee. The only thing that scares me is Tennessee is they've covered
are they due to not cover?
I mean, that's why I took the money line. There you go. Don't have to worry about the +1. There you go. Great play there, Francis. Unfortunately, Matt will have something for you later. I'm not touching touchdowns at this point, especially first touchdowns. It gives me anxiety. But let's talk about these bigger spreads. Texans +14 versus the Dolphins. What do you think?
I'm not touching this game.
I'm not touching it either. I'm not even. No.
Not even close.
Not even close. Bears 6. I saw 6.5. So Bears 6.5. Thoughts on Bears 6.5?
It feels. I wouldn't like. Why are we touching that game? Like, Fields may or not be playing. I'd rather just not touch a Bears Jets game. That's just my opinion.
If Fields is playing, Bears 6.5. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Jets just have some weird locker room coach issues right now. Stuff going on. If Fields is playing,
but
also why would you play him?
Fields playing 100%. Go ahead.
You don't even want to win games. Why would you play him if he's even hurt? Why would you want to play him? You don't want to win games.
To see if they found someone. I don't get it, dude. It reminds me of like RG3 all over again, but a worse scenario. Because at least we were winning with RG3. And you got him out there, like we were playoff bound, blah, blah, blah. But you're just going to hurt him. And then he's going to just, you're trying to evaluate. The front office is trying to evaluate him on an injury on a shitty team. It's just on his first. It's unfair. It's just unfair. Yeah. He's on a shitty ass team. Like, what are you going to do? It's his first year. I don't get it. I'm not going to get into it. It just pissed me off because it reminds me of RG3. Titans +100 on BetMGM. Guys, so just pay attention to that. Fuck yeah, I was. Just for a second, I already got that's it is going to be it's pouring rain here. The one thing about Washington that I didn't mention, Chase Young should be back today. Limited snaps, but Chase Young, huge. It's all about leadership there. He's one of the leaders on the defense. Our defensive line is already nasty. It really is. And then you add Chase Young to there. I'm super excited to see what we're able to do. Let's see. People are talking Ravens first half -2.5. What are your thoughts on that compared to, say, the full game?
Yeah, I think the Ravens have scored first in every road game. I think the Jaguars have scored first four of their 5 road games. Not that that matters because they're home. I always love the Ravens first half in general, just because they seem to get going early. I love the 2.5. Honestly, I think I might wait for a live spot in general just to get their money line, but I like that angle. I think I do.
I don't disagree with you, Patsy. That was my original plan with Tennessee. It was gonna be, say, like Tennessee +7 and like tease down the over and go over on that game as well. I don't hate that play. I'm assuming what would that look like? It'd be Tennessee +7, and then 36.5, over 36.5. I mean, I don't hate that at all. So you're more than welcome to do that because I would lean the over in that game as well, just based off the Bengals really recently. And Steelers +3.5. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I'm
at
not
all?
putting Matt Ryan and the Colts in prime time. I'll tell you that right now. But
this is something we are going to have an episode tomorrow with Fast Money Labs. We're going to be going over some NHL, Monday Night Football, maybe NBA, probably not because the lines are awful in the mornings 90% of the time. So keep a lookout for that, though. We have so many. Okay, here we go. Jalen Hurts. Over 40 yards. This game is it's scary for me because the Packers have been looking a lot better. I kind of want to bet what's Rodgers to throw an interception because he's thrown so many this year, and it's a good defense. +116. I might, a little sprinkle. What are your thoughts on that? Aaron Rodgers to throw another pick.
I like that. I think he's going to have way too much he can handle.
It's been real bad this year. We'll see how the day goes and then go from there. Obviously, I was over-exaggerating a little bit. He's thrown 7 picks. But it's still a lot. A lot. Any other thing that we can see?
No, that's it. I got to get going anyway. I got to put these other bets in.
All right, fair enough. One more time. Let's go just run through it. Ready? Yeah. Kenneth Walker, over 14.5 receiving yards at -110. Seahawks, podcast exclusive play, over 47.5 for the full game. Did a little combo here. Washington money line, Scary Terry, 40 yards, +100. Matt took Cordarrelle Patterson under 13.5 rushing attempts. This is on BetMGM and Bet365 for best line. You can get 12.5, 11.5 everywhere else. It's fine with that, but 13.5 is the best number. And then when he's going to attack himself personally. I'm taking Titans money line, -108. You can get it on MGM actually right now, +100. So look at that. Always price shop there. And then same game, Evan McPherson, over 1.5 field goals at +100 at BetMGM. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for Monday Night Football and some NHL with Fast Money Labs. Until then, bet responsibly. Best of luck. See ya.
Peace.